it was dying, so it took me a minute to find the cord.
I can't. He said it was our secret, so nobody could know.
Your secret? Okay. Can you tell me?
There's special purple magic eggs. He tickled me with them.
Show me what.
Something happened to Cooper at school. No, hang on. Yeah, okay, no.
Hi, Boomer. How are you?
Wyatt is in Mr. Johnny's class too. What happened to my little boy? We're trying to figure that out. Last week, he skipped class.
Yeah, I'm doing all these live shows from my phone until I get a computer, a laptop, when we get income tax. So I had a computer way back when, but that's good, Boomer.
He told me he had an accident. The second complainant, Cooper Burns, was also...
Sorry I haven't been into your live streams. I've been real busy, and with Thanksgiving and me being sick with the stomach bug for a few days, and
I mean, there's no tub in the school bathroom. I thought I would be more concerned if the language was exactly
after
the same.
Thanksgiving, so
Thanks.
yeah.
I don't want to see this coming. Jonah's saliva was recovered on the sex toys, along with fecal bacteria.
But it wasn't just tickling these boys.
And there's a second unknown
So
sample.
it could be Cooper, so let's have to run that. How about Jack?
Yeah, I'm
Prince,
actually
and a lot of people have access to that.
I'm actually up to 125 subs
They told us
and 306 views, I think,
What are we waiting
for only me doing this for a month, 2 months now.
We have Jonah.
Trying to get time to do live streams
We
and
found in your class.
everything, and with everything that's going on, and doctor's appointments and school, and it's a day in the life of a mother.
Go into the bathroom with Cooper now. Do you want to tell us what happened?
And trying to make time for myself and having a little mommy time.
What was I gonna do? Admit to being alone in the bathroom with a little boy when you were accusing me of being a child molester?
even better than lying, Jack.
Why'd you tell Cooper it was a secret? I mean, if nothing
He
happened.
was embarrassed. He was crying. I hurt that boy, right? I was helping him. I was saving him from the shame.
Shame, Jack. Hit or
You
yours?
went home without changing underwear.
They were so
You never thought to tell his mother what happened? I'll send an email.
okay.
Hey,
I shouldn't.
get away from there.
She didn't do the pickup that day and I had to go. We were taping the show.
That's three excuses. We tried.
Hey, come on, get away from over there. Get your toy. Yeah, so how's your day going, Boomer? Yeah, it does. I mean, just like I said before, I had my first kid when I was 28, and then second kid last year in 2016, and then my daughter this year. So that's a lot of hospitals and checkups and everything else. Come on.
All I'm saying, we all know that Leah is working through some things.
Oh, you just woke up? Are you gonna do a live stream tonight, or?
But she's pushing this one too hard.
Come on.
Side of my heart.
Oh, okay.
Jackie Walker, you are charged with 2 counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a minor in the first degree.
Elijah.
Not guilty. This rush to judgment against my client has been appalling.
To be covered in trial, counselor.
Your Honor, Mr. Walker has access to resources, both monetary and...
You're not sure yet? Well, I wasn't going to come on and do one, but...
We may be past that, Your Honor.
Agreed. Given the nature of these charges and the defendant's resources, bail is set at 1.
But I decided since my 4-year-old is not here, I might as well, because he is a little hyper. But now we have him on some medication. Because we found out a couple weeks ago, like, I think, like a week before Thanksgiving, we found out that he's ADHD and autistic. So, it was kind of a shock to us. But when he grows up, he'll pretty much grow out of it, I hope. So, yes, he's
Just happy you're here.
he was pretty much hyper when I was pregnant with him in the stomach, so
Sorry, I'm just...
You say things have been crazy at work.
This case that I've been working on is...
With the...
Elijah.
I saw your name in the paper.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole. You know, it's knock one down and 3 pop up and just over and over and over. You know, but then I think, even if I say...
Elijah.
Is that how you think of yourself as a savior?
Someone has to protect them.
Yes, but does it always have to be you?
Elijah.
You ever wondered why?
Well, if you do go live, Boomer, depending what time, I'll be on, just depending if, I'll probably pop in and say hello. Say hi. 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 Yeah, that's my 1-year-old. He's starting to pick up on words and everything. So, some of them are pretty cute. Hey. And he's learning how to climb on stuff. So I'm always running around, and you know what they say, kids don't come with manuals.
2 more moms just called.
Boys and girls?
Here, let's go get your baba.
Jimmy Savile.
I know.
You want your baba? You want some?
Girls with a wide range of ages. To me, that's not looking at.
And it's getting to that point where I'm trying to wean him off the bottle. And a few nights he hasn't had the bottle and all, but it's like everything to him is baba, baba, baba. Okay, come on. Come on. Here. Here you go. So, yeah. And I know these, I never knew how expensive kids were. Now I understand what my parents went through.
Maybe she was
I'm doing all right, Mr. Dave. How are you?
Lost interest. Used the second job. I wanted to be a normal kid.
Doesn't look like you lost interest.
How was your Thanksgiving, guys? Did you eat a lot of turkey and ham?
You know, music teachers, everything is like sex to them. Jackie and
I know my husband's mother and sister
I was kissing.
cooked a lot of stuff, and
Touch little kids, guys, a total creep.
you missed it. What happened? Were you sick that day?
Did Jackie ever touch you?
Do you live in Canada, Mr. Dave? Which part of Canada?
You know what Jackie did was wrong. You don't have to hide it anymore.
Come on, baby.
It's okay.
It started out.
Oh, you were sick that day. I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling a little better. Vancouver. Here, baby. I've always wanted to go to Canada, but I don't have my visa or a passport for that matter, so I'll eventually get there one day. Yeah, I remember those. I remember the 2010 Winter Olympics. When does it start getting cold in Vancouver, or is it like Tulsa? Because it varies time to time. We have rainy months where it just rains all month, and sometimes we get snow, but sometimes it's not as heavy. And it starts getting cold in July for New York. It's cold and rainy now. Yeah, it's 67 here today. And it's dropping tonight, so.
Just take a second. That's it. We're all the way in the back.
Alright, guys, I'll be right back. I have to go use the restroom. I'll be right back, okay?
Cooper, has Mr. Jackie been anywhere else? Maybe have you been in your bath here? He's only at school. Can you tell me who does give you your bath? He said that they were light readers. I'm sorry. See, that's how the other moms letters.
What, Mama? Really? Alright, guys, I'm back. Uh-oh. Yeah, just like I said, I had my daughter in July, so I got to see July 4th. Thank you, Dave. And then July 18th, or a week before the 18th, I went to a doctor's appointment. And then we set up a scheduled C-section, which was the 18th of July. And then at like 9 o'clock in the morning, so I was pretty much ready for her to come out. And so when I got there, they pretty much got me settled in and ready. So, and my surgeon wasn't there yet, so I went back to the operating room at 11, and then had the C-section, got the epidural thing in the back, and oh my gosh, I've had 3 of those, and where they do it at, it's still sore. And I know when you get stuff done like that, it's gonna be sore and tender and whatnot, but I'm happy that she's here. I've had 2 sons and a daughter now, so it is kind of weird how, yeah, a 7-inch scar, yeah, that's, see, I healed a lot faster than my first 2. When I was done the C-section with my daughter, I healed faster with her. But my first and second son, not so much. It took me a whole lot longer to heal than with her. I healed faster with her. Because as soon as you get done with the C-section, they pretty much come in your room an hour after, and hey, you gotta get up. I mean, when you get up from the bed and stand straight up, it hurts. But since I have known that the pain from the first 2 times, it didn't bother me so much. So, and my first son, his birth, that pregnancy was a blessing, because 2 to 3 weeks after I was in my car accident in 2012, I found out, I think 3 weeks after the car accident, I was pregnant with him. And it was just kind of weird how that happened. And, you know, I think it was a sign from God that it was time for me to be a mother and raise kids and, you know, do the best I can. I mean, any parent trying to do the best they can, you know. You were in a car accident 5 years ago? Is that where you hurt your ankle, or was that a different accident? Okay, well, when I was in my car accident, my mother, I just picked my mom up from work, and she worked at the Tulsa International Airport, and at that time we lived on Memorial. It's a really busy street Friday and Saturday nights, and I was coming down 32nd Street going to Memorial. Wow, you rode a minivan in '98? Well, those were good cars, but I think they were easy to roll. And so when the guy was in a red car or a red truck, and so I was going down the road and he was coming out of Drysdale's, this little cowboy shop that we have here in Tulsa, and he was on his cell phone, was not paying attention, and I collided into the side of him on his side, and the airbags deployed on me and my husband. We just got a brand new car. It was a Dodge Neon, all white, brand new, nothing wrong with it. And then all of a sudden, boom. And we just got that 2 weeks prior to the accident. And so the airbags deployed. My face went into it. I lost 2 teeth. And my C2 and C3 sits on top of one another. And I do have neck pain all the time, but it's pretty much controlled with, ibuprofen or Aleve. And then my mom, she had to get her appendix taken out. Yeah, I was, and plus when the ambulance came, I had to be in the neck brace, and I was in a neck brace for probably about 3-4 hours, and that even made it hurt worse. And it felt, when they took it off, at that time, it felt kind of numb. So the hospital and my insurance set up chiropractor appointments for us, and we pretty much got our backs adjusted and my neck worked on. And so yeah, and then with the accident and everything, we got money back for it. So the car was totaled, so but now I don't even go down that street no more, because when my husband goes down that street, when I'm in the car, I don't drive through that. Alright, I'll check it out. I mean, when they x-rayed yeah, when they done x-rays, they done actually an MRI on my neck 2-3 days after that, and the doctor looked at it and said that my C2 and C3 was on top of one another. So, and it still is, because I get x-rays done every year, and it's so I can keep up with it, just in case if something does happen again. Hey, go get Sissy's Bubba. Yeah, I deal with it, but when it gets really cold, it really hurts. Come here, baby. Let me have it. Thank you. And when my mom got hurt in the car, yeah, I start to have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and every time I see like a red truck, like a Dodge truck or a Nissan truck that's red, you know, I have flashbacks of that time. And when my husband, and when I'm in the car and when he goes down that street, I just try to concentrate on something else, but half the time it comes back. But yeah, I mean, I still have dreams about that day, and it's very hard for me to remember. I remember crashing into the car, and I think it was the adrenaline rush that I had, because I've never been in a car accident. And then all of a sudden, when the ambulance came, I remember hearing the sirens. Then I saw my mom bleeding from her mouth. I kind of passed out, and I can't remember anything from that point. And this has been 5 years now. Elijah, stop. Yeah, that's what my doctor said. And then 2 weeks after finding out I'm pregnant, and then having postpartum depression after my first son's birth, then second son, and then my daughter's. And I am on medication, so, you know, I'm pretty much chilled out when I take it. But it's pretty much, yeah, it was. But I got through it. I prayed every night, and I thank God each and every day that I'm still alive, because if it could have been worse. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dave. And then this past year, my father found out that he had cancer of the jaw. And back then, he used to dip and smoke cigarettes and other stuff. And all right, Boomer, thank you for coming. And then July 29th, a week after my daughter was born, he passed in his sleep. And I think it was just of a broken heart, because, you know, he, with the chemotherapy and radiation therapy and everything, it just was too much for him, and it was hard for him. So I know he's in a better place, and he'll be okay. I just had a baby and just lost my dad, and, you know, and I'm dealing with it, but there's some days where it's just hard, you know, and I do EVP sessions on my phone, and that night when he passed, I saw him, a full body apparition, here in my home. And I see him every now and then hovering over my children. Like, you know, you give your wife a kiss, or, you know. And I've gotten some answers, but, you know, I believe he's at peace, and, you know, and he does come through every now and then. And, oh yeah, he's always around. Just like my grandparents, they're always around. I'm always getting signs. Just like, a couple days ago, I found, like, 3 or 4 ladybugs in my apartment. And to me, ladybug symbols good luck, and your loved ones are watching you. So I believe that they're watching me and guiding me through my life until I get to see them again. Has he passed? That was his nature. See, my grandpa on my mom's side, he passed a month before my graduation. And I pretty much dreamt of it. And he came to me in a dream, young, like he was in his 20s. And he told me everything's gonna be alright. Don't worry. I'll see you again. And that day when I woke up to go to school, I didn't know what the dream meant. You know, I just woke up, oh, it's just a dream. And then I kind of had a feeling throughout the day something had happened. Kind of like a gut feeling. Kind of like something's wrong type feeling. And then my mom called me and on the phone in the school's office and told me that her dad passed away. of a heart attack in his sleep. Prior to that, in 1990, my grandmother, which is her mom, she passed of a heart attack. And they met, while he was in the Army, and she was 18 and he was, I think, 25, 26. And his base was in Zwolle, Louisiana. And that's where my grandpa met my grandma. So, and it was, to them, it was love at first sight. So, they got married. They had 6 kids. And when she died, he kind of gave up. And then in 2003, he pretty much couldn't fight no more, and he passed. Which is, I believe they're together, and they welcomed my dad into heaven with his mom and dad. And I know they're having a party up there. My dad loved my mom's mom. One, two. Yeah, I get like that. I get dreams about stuff that you would never think that would happen. It's just like on September 11th that day, I went to New York to visit a very good friend of mine, and I was in high school. And I went a couple weeks before September 11th so I could see the city. And then all of a sudden, September 11th hit, and I had a feeling all week that week something was weird, something was going to happen. And then boom, the planes went into the towers, and my friend lived about 2 blocks from the trade centers. And it was just crazy how all that went down and everything. Yeah, it was it's kind of unreal how, because I saw the second plane hit the South Tower, and it was kind of like, what the heck happened? And people screaming, people yelling, and then when the towers went down, I mean, it was just chaos. I mean, and all those people, I mean, I could just imagine how much imprint is in that building. Every day people went to work. Children, daycare center there. The imprints on the walls, the desks, the land it was built at. I mean, I could just imagine how many EVPs, paranormal investigators could get there if, they had something like that. Or even now, since they built another tower there. And two, I wonder if that building they built, if that's haunted, because it's somewhat in the same spot as the towers were. Yeah, so it was. I remember where I was that day. Yeah, I would too. I mean, even if the people who got out and died years later of, cancer, because that was a lot of stuff. Even the Titanic. I know I watched an episode of Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures. I think it was the last Saturday night or the prior Saturday that they have a museum of the Titanic in Missouri. Yeah, a long effects of people that day. I mean, it took me a couple weeks to get back home to. Yes, Stork. We're talking about the Twin Towers, how, when they came down and all those people were in there, and see if, how many EVPs you would get from that place, from the Twin Towers when September 11th happened. And the imprint those people put on that building. And see if, because I haven't heard since, if anybody's done an investigation there. Okay, Mr. Dave. How are you doing today, Stork? And where are you from? Netherlands. Yeah, I believe that it was an inside job for the Twin Towers. That's just so devastating for a human being to do. I mean we here in the States and probably in the Northlands too, mothers killing kids and, child molestations and stuff. It's just devastating to hear all that. And even to the towers, I would love to go there again and do an EVP session and see if there is anything there. Because that was a lot of souls lost that day. And even people that wasn't even in the buildings. I mean, even at the Pentagon, they even said a Boeing 757, which is, it's 100-foot to 100-foot wingspan, that it hit into the Pentagon. I mean, come on, you think if a Boeing 757 hit the Pentagon, it would left a bigger hole than it was? I mean, everything around September 11th is just conspiracy theories. And, you know, and I believe, yeah, and no footage from a plane. You know, I believe that it was a bomb because it was a 16 by 16 hole. A plane doesn't, even the nose of a plane ain't 16 by 16 foot. You know, and it's, and you think if the plane that supposedly hit the Pentagon, you think it would have left a bigger hole. And plane parts, like it did at the towers. Elijah, baby, stop. Come on, close it. No.
Because if she's hiding something, it'll be rewarding to do you a favor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's just like people don't love people no more. It's just a bunch of hate. I mean, I'm a loving person. I love all people, you know. You sit down and get to know me, I open up, you know, and I could talk for hours about anything. Conspiracy theories, relationships, babies. I do have 3 children, so I am a mother. And, you know, I like to watch TV and movies and documentaries about things. And, you know, this world's gone crazy since then. It wasn't like it was back in the 90s when I was a kid. You know, people helped people. People helped the elderly and the disabilities and everything. It's just like nowadays people just don't care anymore. Elijah, I said stop. Where's your Baba? Go get Baba. Yeah, it is a difficult problem. Elijah, I said stop. But, you know, that's the world we live in today. I don't know how it is in the Northlands because I've never been there, but I would love to go one day. You know, because you never hear anything about Ireland. I know you guys got a lot of castles and beautiful open land and everything. But yeah, I don't know if anything like this has happened in your country. to Germany. Okay. So you guys have seen your fair share of wars. I mean, I don't know much about your country. Because you really never hear anything bad about, you know, the Northlands and stuff.
Dad, I'm sorry.
Elijah, now stop.
It's not true.
Captain Craig says that he's an agent to ID this fourth suspect.
No wars after World War II. Okay. So it's pretty peaceful there.
Over the years, he's been disgraced. And he's hurt you. Who is it?
Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. My phone is about to die again. I'll be on a little later.